Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Game Dimensions Tekken KAZUYA, which is, I'm guessing, Tekken 7, since that's what Heihachi was, but it doesn't say on the packaging, so I don't know. Some people tell me they have like the same look for multiple games, so maybe it's like Tekken 4 through 7. I'm gonna guess that. You guys can let me know if I'm right or wrong. But this figure is, much like Heihachi, a pretty darn good figure. That does come in at a slightly high price point, which is going to knock down some points, unfortunately, but still, pretty good figure. So there's some stuff to talk about, so let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alrighty, before we get in on the figure, we're going to take a look at my package. Again, it is just like Heihachi's. Game render down here, big window, I like that. Not really loving the split look. This top part just doesn't look great, the Game Dimensions thing. I'm not loving it. I don't mind the logo, but this right here is ugly. But otherwise, decent enough package, nice and square. Same render there. Nothing going on over here. And then on the back, I'm not a fan of having all game stuff and then just the paint master there. Not the best looking thing in the world. But it's fine, who cares about the packaging, really. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the reason you're here. This guy stands, let's just call it 6.5 inches. His little hair spike goes up just past that, and his skull would be just below that, so we're kind of averaging about 16.5 centimeters. That makes sense. And here he is up against Darwin, definitely a 1/12 scale figure. That's your average Marvel Legends figure. Here he is up against Heihachi. I don't know what their heights are officially, but they're father and son. I'm guessing they're about the same in the game world. So that's appropriate, and they do fit in nicely with the Jada Street Fighter figures. Don't have any on hand to show you, unfortunately. Now, these guys do come in at a higher price point. I think they're $27, which puts them closer to Marvel Legends, right around the average price for Marvel Legends, and they blow those out of the water. They are, however, more expensive than the Jada Street Fighter figures, and those blow these out of the... I don't want to say they blow them out of the water. These have some really nice features. We're going to talk about that, but they are not up to par. Up to par. I said that funny. They are not up to par with the Street Fighter figures. Okay, so let's dive into the aesthetic, but first, a question of the day. Which member of this family line is your favorite? I think there's actually a girl too, right? It's not just Jin, Heihachi, and KAZUYA. Isn't there another one? The girl? I don't know. I don't play Tekken. Let me know. I'm gonna go with... I think I have to go with KAZUYA. Jin's just kind of blah compared to this guy. Okay. Alright, let's look at the aesthetic. This guy, shiny skin still, definitely a problem. It's not as shiny as Heihachi's pants, and it is his skin, so you could argue sweat. So it's not like a total deal breaker, but definitely plasticky. Which is why I said these guys are closer in comparison to Marvel Legends, but they just so blow them out of the water, because we do have all kinds of paint detail on here. The fire being split, there's a seam line right here. I don't care for that, and it's not painted perfectly, but it's definitely good enough from a distance. Same on this side down here. It's not great, but it's okay. His belt is done really well. I like that, and his little glove beads and straps, those are nice. His scars on his torso, very nicely done. Heihachi didn't have paint there. Unfortunately, all of his other scars are completely unpainted, which is just cheap as hell and basically unacceptable. Like, you're probably going to accept it, but officially, that's unacceptable. That is unfinished product right there. I don't care if it costs an extra 10 cents to paint it. You have to do that. You can't not. That's no different than not painting his eyes. That's a key feature of the character, and it's there. It's there, and they didn't do it. His face is done pretty cleanly. He's got the Rudy eye going on and his scars and stuff. It's pretty good, but the finish on this guy isn't as noticeably bad. He doesn't have any flat paint or flat material like Heihachi did on his shirt. See, this guy's all kind of shiny, but not too bad. It's definitely within the realm of acceptable if the paint was there. This is just nuts. If I wasn't counting this, I'd give this guy an 8 out of 10. Price point is still questionably high. But the paint not being there is just... I have to say 5 out of 10. They're missing a significant amount of paint on the figure, which is crucial. So that's crazy. But I do want to mention briefly, the proportioning is really nice. It's way better than we see on a lot of action figures, so that's good. I really, really like that. I mentioned in the last video, I don't mind that we have pins in the arms because pin joints don't bother me. Since somebody asked about the shoulders. Yeah, pin shoulders do bother me. We haven't had pin shoulders in action figures in a long time. You can definitely afford to not have pin shoulders, so that sucks. Personally, I can get past it pretty quick because it's just still an action figure. But I would much rather the shoulders not be pinned, because those are staring you straight in the face, and these ones aren't anywhere near as noticeable, so don't love that. But it's overall a pretty solid looking figure other than this. I so wish these were painted, and yes, you can do it, so pick it up and throw some paint on there if you want to, but that really blows. Nice texturing in the pants too, forgot to mention that. Okay, as far as accessories go, you get 2 fist hands and 2 open hands. Now technically, one set of those hands does not count as an accessory. He does come with a fist hand and an open hand on him in the package, then you get the alternatives. He also has a spiky turtle punch from Naruti's buddy Sasuke, and so that's a pretty cool effect. I like that, and you get his round 1 thingy with the little stand. It's good enough. It's the same as Heihachi's thing. It's like pretty cool, but it's okay. Alright, so accessory wise, 7 out of 10, nothing crazy there. No alternate head, that would go a long way at this price point. Okay, let's talk about the articulation. We have a ball peg in the neck, ball pegs at the top end of the neck also for the head. It's not great because it's a little gappy, but it is pretty functional. Like, you're going to be able to put him in some poses. He can't look up super far because of the way his hair sticks down. He can look down well enough. It'll be good enough. It's not the best example of good neck articulation, but it will suffice. I think it'll be okay. The shoulders do have a ball peg connecting them to the torso. They have a little bit of play, but that's functionally useless. It's not really going to do too much. Shoulder itself, though, does go better than horizontal, so that's good. Full rotation, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. Pretty good range. Not the best, but good enough. We have a ball hinge in the wrist, which is going to have minimal range, but that's okay. I think it'll be fine. Ab crunch. Dated articulation for sure. Let's see. He can lean forward. Okay, it's not great. It'll be good enough. He can lean back pretty far. It gets a little gappy and ugly, but I've definitely seen worse. So as far as ab crunches go, this one's slightly better than average. It's okay. And then for the waist, it's just a twist. There's like a little wiggle, but I don't think that's actually articulation. So we'll just say there's a little bit of a twist and you can kind of flex his diaper. All right, for the hips, not something I'm fond of. This also doesn't move, so I don't like that. The hips are on the hinge, and perfect example of why the hinge is no good. This happens all the time with figures with this drop-down hinged ball peg system. It's not good. It doesn't really work that well, and it can be so easily avoided if you just make your hips properly. But it does have that, and it's annoying as hell to handle. But he can get out to doing full-on splits, so that's pretty good. Kicking forward, it's not great. Even with the hip all the way dropped down, he can't bring his leg up to horizontal, so that kind of blows. Then going back, there's no range at all. Thigh swivel, a little bit, not a lot, and it's mostly going in rather than out, so that kind of sucks. Double jointed knee is not bad. It's an overly complex knee joint. If you see, there's a gap in there until it comes all the way closed. That's so weird the way they over-engineered the knee. It's functional and it looks pretty good, but they put a lot of money into that knee, it looks like. Well, whatever. I mean, it's good. The knee is good, but is it the best place to spend money on this basic knee joint? I don't know. But it is a pretty decent looking knee all the way around. And then ankles, he does have what is functionally a ball hinge. It swivels at the top and rotates in the foot and has a hinge, but the pants are hard plastic and there's very little range forward and back. And even trying to use the ankle rocker, you get very little out of it, so it's pretty limited down there. So articulation-wise, this guy's gonna get a 7 at best. At the price point of $27, I think they need to do a little bit better. Jada has proved that that is possible. Bandai definitely can do it too. Makes me wonder if they're planning on doing some figure arts down the road, because these are damn good figures by non-high-end standards, but they are slightly overpriced. So I'm wondering if the limitations we're seeing here are the result of them wanting us to buy figure arts that are coming. Don't know, just a hunch, but anyway. Okay, let's do a final verdict on this guy. Price point is definitely too high for some of the problems we have going on. However, it is a unique sculpt. There is a fair amount of paint on it, even though it is missing some, and the articulation is functional. Accessories are good enough. These blow Marvel Legends out of the water, but they are not quite up to par with the Jada Street Fighter figures, which is what I said in the beginning, and you watched a whole video to find out the same thing I said in the first few seconds. But you did learn some other things along the way, so it's about the journey, guys. It's about the journey. Okay, so final verdict on this guy, 7 out of 10. It's a pretty solid figure with a couple almost fatal flaws and a relatively high price point, but it's still a fun figure to have, and it's definitely gonna do a good enough job, I think. if you can throw some paint on those arms, you're going to be sitting kind of pretty. So there it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.